Hey there everyone, this is Zach here. So, I'm lazy, and I like to do as little as possible while accomplishing as much as I can. And today's video is going to be the same thing. So, can you beat Extreme Heights where the only ride is Flaming Fury? No food, drinks, bathrooms, just a roller coaster. Before we get to that, let's explain what you're supposed to do on Extreme Heights. It's a park with a ridiculously high guest goal of 4,500 while maintaining a park rating of 700 or more throughout the entire journey. If this rating ever falls below 700, you have only 4 weeks to get it back up. If you fail to do this in time, the park forever closes and you lose the objective. So while the guest goal is very high, it does make up for it with the fact that there is no money involved. This means that guests will not risk going broke from spending money on rides or stalls, which increases the chance they will leave. With no money involved, they'll be a lot more likely to stay. Another thing is that guests will only want to go on intense rides. It says that they'll only go on rides with 9 intensity or higher. However, the happier a guest gets, the minimum amount of intensity needed for them to get on a ride goes down. Since Flaming Fury has an intensity above 9, this won't matter. With that explanation out of the way, you can see a big problem here. While you can build coasters to get more guests easily, I'm only sticking with one. The Twister coaster contributes 120 to the soft guest cap. Thus, my soft guest cap the entire time is only going to be 120, so I'm relying on this one coaster to get all the guests I need. Is this even possible? Can I even do this? To begin, I'm going to be using RollerCoaster Tycoon Classic for this. I won't be using Open RCT2, at least for now, since I like trying challenges like this on an official game for the series. Plus, I'm using Classic over something like the original game because it has a speed up feature. The first thing I'm going to do is load the park. Per the rules, the only ride I can have is Flaming Fury, and only Flaming Fury. So goodbye drink stall, and goodbye burger bar. Yep, everyone is going to be thirsty and starving. So 2 out of the 3 things needed for basic survival are already gone. I guess the queue line can count as shelter, and there's gonna be no bathrooms. So, with all that in mind, let's see how little I can do with the concept that the only ride is Flaming Fury then. And sit here and wait, and wait, and wait, and over a year later I lose. So, if you notice, the rating goes down below 700, causing the park to close. If we look at the guests, they're complaining about being tired and hungry. This causes a lot of them to be unhappy. Plus, there isn't enough rides to get their happiness up quickly. There is an easy solution to this. If I hire tons of entertainers, guests will stay happy even if they are starving, or if there are a cajillion of them on very little path. With this in mind, can I get to 4,500 guests? Let's try this again. I first delete the stalls once more, but now I am hiring staff. I'm gonna hire some handyman, a security guard here to protect these bins and benches from vandalism. I moved the mechanic to right in front of Flaming Fury's exit so it can be fixed quickly. And then the rest I'll hire as entertainers. Something I noticed, when you hire a staff member while zoomed in, the one being held by this claw is smaller than all the other staff. This is because the staff being held is at a fixed size regardless of how zoomed in or out you are. As soon as they get hired, they're back to normal size. I also make one a tiger and call him Bob. Hi Bob! Keep everyone happy! The maximum number of staff I can hire in Classic is 200. With everyone hired, I have 20 handyman, 1 mechanic, 1 security guard, and a whopping 178 entertainers. Boy, is everyone gonna be happy! Woo! There's also another reason why I have all these staff. If I have at least 1 staff member for every 32 guests, I can get the Best Staff Award. This helps increase the rate at which guests spawn as long as the award is active, making getting to 4,500 easier, which is gonna take a while. So thank you game for this award. Now with all these staff, let's see if this is possible. At April year 2, I have 500 guests. We see that the park rating is somehow actually doing well. It's almost 800, despite the fact almost everyone is tired and starving. Also, I won the Tidiest Park Award. Thank you, Handyman. And the Worst Food Award? How? I don't have any food here. How can you say it's terrible if I don't have any? The Tidiest Park is a positive award, so it does help bring up guest generation. However, the Worst Food one brings it back down, so these two things effectively cancel out each other. At May Year 4, I now have 1,000 guests. The park rating is still going up. It's at 841 now, despite more people being tired and starving. For fun, I decided to check out one of the guests. Aaron here, because he's not tired apparently. When he wanders around the park, he slowly loses energy. However, I noticed eventually that he stops losing it. This is because guests on a queue line or on a ride do not lose energy. As we can see, Aaron is on Flaming Fury. Once he gets off the ride, it begins going back down again. Eventually, Aaron does get into the tired state. I have also received the Safest Park Award and Best Staff Awards, making the guest generation higher. Can we note that I just got the Safest Park Award? I mean, I guess people aren't literally dying. Apparently food and water aren't even essential for these guests. Do they even need shelter? Now it's July year 11, and wow, there's 2,000 now. However, it quickly dips below 2,000 again, making me think we might be plateauing. A few weeks of progress though shows that this park has not plateaued yet. So now I'm at 2,500, and it's still going up. Yeah, I mean, it is slowing down. It took more months to get here, but still, it's going up. The number of guests coming in is still faster overall than the number going out. 84 months later, on October year 23, I'm at 3,000, and it's still not stopping. Oh my goodness, is this actually gonna happen? And 93 months later, I'm at 3,500. It's still not stopping. Holy cow, I'm actually amazed by this. Even with getting negative awards, it's still going up. I noticed that for the most part, the negative awards, i.e. worst food because that's the only one I can get, does stagnate the guest generation sometimes. However, it still goes up even when it's still active. And even when I don't have an award or have some active, it still stagnates sometimes. So yeah, awards don't make much of a difference now. And 99 months later, I'm at 4,000. The rate at which guests are coming in is slowing down. However, they're still coming in. I'm just gonna say, I was not expecting for this to actually work. So, I seem very surprised seeing this. Let me explain to you why. Originally, this was going to be a video where I beat Extreme Heights with a modified version of Flaming Fury that had 4 stations, each with long queue lines to hold guests. The point was to show that you can get that many guests without advertising, keeping a high rating the entire time, and only having one ride. I even had the footage and that part of the script written already. However, upon getting footage of what was supposed to be a failed attempt, the number of guests kept going up. So this ended up becoming a video on trying to beat Extreme Heights without having to modify the ride. I was very excited to see a more minimalistic method possibly working here. With that explanation out of the way, let's see if I can finish this out. I'm almost at 4,500. Come on, just keep on going up. You can do it, Extreme Heights, come on, we're just getting so close, don't stagnate. Oh, Best Staff Award? Granted, these awards really don't seem to do anything at this point. Oh my goodness, we're getting close, no, yes, I did it! On October year 48, I finally got to 4,500 guests, beating Extreme Heights with an unmodified version of Flaming Fury and a bunch of entertainers. This was truly amazing. The fact that this actually works is one of the craziest things I've ever seen. Now with this being done in Classic, it'd be a cool thing to try this in Open RCT2, or heck, even Vanilla RCT2. Right? About that. So I loaded up an older save I had on Extreme Heights in Open RCT2. However, as soon as I load the park, I immediately lose almost all my guests. It settles below 300 and kinda just stays there, and it stays there the rest of the time. I even tried this from a fresh file of Extreme Heights, sped up the game, and after a couple years, I'm still bottling at under 300 guests. I went into Vanilla RCT2 after this, and yeah, the same thing happens. The number of guests immediately plummets. If we look, as soon as the park loads up, the number of guests that leave skyrockets. Meanwhile, in Classic, only a few guests at worst ever want to leave. So yes, this is exclusively a Classic-only trick. I'm not sure exactly why this is. I have noticed in the past that it seems easier to get guests in free money parks, and with enough patience, you can get to the sprite limit pretty easily. In fact, it may be possible to get to the sprite limit in Extreme Heights without the park closing. If I get to that, I'll make a follow-up video. For that to work though, I'd have to leave my game running for literal days. I'm not sure why this works. Maybe something with how guests decide to leave was changed. It'd be cool if someone looked into the code on Classic to see why this works. Anyways, if you enjoyed this video, please like and subscribe. This was a fun video to make, and it's nice discovering strats that are possible between each version of RollerCoaster Tycoon, just like I did with Amity Airfield. Thank you for watching and have a wonderful day.